Hey, what's up, guys? It's Enchanted. Hope everybody's doing okay. So, Jennette McCurdy, who is a childhood star, she's been in a little bit of controversy this weekend after releasing her book, I'm Glad My Mom Died. So, in the book, she basically talks about her childhood experiences and growing up and certain things that have happened in her life. It's a memoir. And so, she talked about, her early life on iCarly, you know, but people were a little unsettled and kind of taken back a bit because of the fact that she had talked about, being on set. She was a young star on iCarly, that she was kind of coerced to do certain things and maybe wear certain things that she normally wouldn't do by some of the producers, which most people are assuming are Dan Schneider, who is the head of a bunch of popular Nick shows. At least back then, he was in charge of like Victorious, iCarly, Drake and Josh, Joey 101, and I think maybe True Jackson. I'm not sure, but he was in charge of lots of those big network shows. So people were like, yeah, they're probably talking about him. He's been known to be doing some creepy stuff and it's coming to light recently. So most people are thinking that's him. But lots of people were also shook by the part that she said that she was having, an eating disorder while on the show, and how hard that must have actually been for her because her character Sam was known to be like, very in love with food, like, very hungry. That character that's like always like, oh, where's something I could get to eat, like that type of character. So she was battling with the eating disorder while also having to be a character that loves food, which has to be a pretty big struggle. She went on to also talk about her feud with Ariana Grande, which was pretty public. I think most people knew about this, which was basically a result of the company, or I guess the producers, playing favorite to Ariana Grande and kind of bowing to Ariana Grande's star power. She talked about how there were many roles where Jennette could have, branched off and did bigger acting roles and stuff, but they wouldn't write her out of scripts on, the shows like iCarly and Sam and Cat. However, when it was Ariana Grande's turn and she wanted to, perform at an awards show or maybe work on other projects, she was allowed to do so, and they would write her off the show for, however much she needed that week or a couple of days. So Jennette was like saying, they're really playing favoritism, and it's not fair. She was getting jealous, and also, this was at the height, when Ariana Grande's career really started taking off. So, Jennette or Ariana Grande was getting invited to, different celebrity events and certain things, while, Jennette felt probably a little left behind. And what I'm taken back by is the response from Ariana Grande's fans. They are really trying to come after Jennette, saying that she was jealous, she's bitter, and all that. And I'm sitting here like, Jennette, that's what she's saying. She literally just said that. She said she was bitter. She said she was jealous of Ariana Grande. I mean, they were younger back in the day, and also Ariana Grande was allowed to do stuff that she wasn't. So of course she's gonna be a little jealous, and she didn't hide that. It's a memoir. She's an open book. But Ariana Grande's fans are really vicious. You know how they did Victoria Justice. They try to sabotage her. So her fans can be a little vicious, and they're a lot younger. So you have to take that into account. Ariana Grande and Jennette McCurdy had said that they made up, so there's no beef between them, which I'm glad. And she seemed to have squashed lots of the beef within the book. She's in a way better place than she was. One of the feel good kind of stories that I think came from this book is, she talked about her relationship with Miranda Cosgrove. And, like I don't know if I said it earlier in the video, but iCarly was one of literally my favorite show probably on Nickelodeon. It was hilarious. I could watch those episodes now and still crack up like I would, when I was a kid. It was pretty mature, you know what I mean? The humor was pretty mature. And I was glad to hear that her and Miranda Cosgrove were really good friends on the set, especially after hearing how, other stars like Drake and Josh, they're not really that close. She said that her and Miranda Cosgrove keep in good contact with each other. They still talk all the time, and they were really good friends back then. And it really makes me really happy that Jennette back then during iCarly, when she was probably going through her worst time, she was making our lives a lot better. We were laughing and cracking up on stage, but she was going through her worst time at that time. She was going through an eating disorder. She was probably feeling pressure to do certain things, but at least she had, Miranda Cosgrove to kind of be there and be really good friends with them, and or good friends with her, and kind of help ease her through that situation. But what are your guys' thoughts on this memoir? I think it's really interesting because, we normally think of childhood stars, at least when we were kids, you know what I mean? being like we're like in awe of them, like oh my gosh, they're rich, they're famous and stuff, but you know behind the scenes nobody really knows what goes on. You know they could be going through the worst time of their life, like here you see. So what are you guys' thoughts on this? Were you guys taken back? Were you guys shook? You guys kind of expect this? You know we know creepy stuff goes down behind the industry, so you know it's stuff like that. But yeah, what were your guys' thoughts? Let me know. Like and subscribe, and you guys have a wonderful day.